do recall a time when Milton authorized us to go into Somalia and to take out a warlord, and the operation failed. And he killed George Bush, he killed a lot of people. And that sucked, and we became isolationist, and we became very scared of going into another country, and we became very scared of trying to effect change. And the crisis after that was Rwanda. And I think actually Rwanda is a much closer analogy to what we're facing now. We're facing a regime that wants to kill its own people, that has been very, very successful at killing its own people. And our choices are not so much diplomacy or action or nothing. Our choices are really action or nothing. Assad has no reason to negotiate. He's winning. We've shown that we're not going to do anything. We've shown that we're not willing to use military force. When we have tried to use international sanction, international condemnation, it has failed. We've seen it fail in Iran. We've seen it fail in North Korea. Diplomacy is a great idea, but it just doesn't work in a modern world where you have Syria supported by Russian regimes. You know, the choices are essentially we can go to the UN and we can ask them for authorization, and they may give it or they may not, but either way, Russia's not going to yield, and we are not going to get Security Council authorization. So we can choose that as a reason to stand back and say, well, now we can't go in. Or, you know what, people are going to get slaughtered, and that's okay because we don't have UN authorization. Or we can say, you know what, we've learned from history. We learned that when a citizen population is getting slaughtered and we don't go in, we regret it years later. That it's often not a huge sacrifice. In Rwanda, we didn't need that much to shut down a lot of the killing. We can choose not to go in, but we do have to bear the moral consequences of allowing women and children to die because we don't want to.
I take your point. Let me say this about that. Somalia is a good example of not knowing what kind of a situation you're getting into. We had the idea that we were going to move in and take out whatever his name was, Camille, and we would install a government in Somalia. We didn't know what we were getting into, and we got caught and Black Hawk Down was the result of it. Now, that is the problem in every situation that you go into, and why you should go in carefully and think about it. Right now, there is a real question as to who the opposition is. The opposition is not all good guys, and there are some bad guys in that, or if you don't think Al-Qaeda's a bad guy, I guess you could say they're good guys too, but you've got sort of good guy opposition and bad guy opposition, and the idea that you want to turn the country over to the good guy opposition, you don't know whether this side is stronger than that side, and so you are stepping into a situation where you have enormous questions about who we would be actually supporting. We can weaken Assad so that they can win or they can win. The question is that good? What will on Friday it look like when these people are now running the country? If these guys are running it, that's wonderful. We love these good guys, whoever they are. And that's the decision we have to make. If we're going to just say, well, I don't care, I just want rid of Assad, that'll make it better. Not necessarily. Not necessarily.